Sever the heads of several men. Gladiator status on my lion's den. Because a few words to describe my zen. Vicious, malicious with a fist full of bitches. No X-Man, but I'm a gambler with the gamies. Murder the myth, handle the witness, panorama, the camera. That's a fit my ego when it's like a hammer, the granny. It'll harder than a factor to describe how I spit. Take D50, cage rib, show you how I'm living. Death note, put a rest of those. With a lens of flows. Sounds so seductive and sensual. Can't hear, then take one more step close. Whisper while I'm with it, will you listen?
All right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for your weekly MMA podcast called Split Decision, brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. A couple guys short today, and it's also the day after a big holiday, so just going to break you off some important news and, of course, some fight breakdowns and things of that nature. It's Bueller and Dutz in here in the Ruloff Family Inc. studios.
Man, I think we're just lucky we made it.
We made it. The Trick the Fan did not get us.
Yeah. Well, you know, you had to stay sober to make it here. So I'm just here.
Pretty much. You already here.
I'm just here.
If this was at my house, I would not be so. But yeah, we're gonna bring you some news real quick, and we got fight cards happening last weekend. We got a fight card happening tomorrow in Seoul, South Korea, which is gonna be cool, and a couple things that happened this week as well.
And we're bringing you a show. That's what we do. Week to week, we will come through.
We're gonna, even if it's just us talking about Fleshlight having a Blacklight Friday sale.
Yeah, fleshlight.com, Blacklight sale.
You can go and get like 20% off right now.
Yeah, get one for your buddy. That conversation was, well, how do you hand that to somebody? And I like how you said, you buy for yourself.
Buy for yourself.
You don't buy somebody else one.
I think if you buy somebody else a Fleshlight, though, it has to be when they're going through a divorce.
And you would buy them a bigger one, right? You'd be like, oh, you needed
you need the Jumbo Deluxe,
right? But give them the receipt so they can get the one they really need.
Yeah, of course. You give them the airplane hanger pussy, and then they go and trade it in for.
Or you can get them a Strongboard Balance.
Strongboard's going to be stoked with that transition.
Yeah, and you can get the Strongboard at strongboardbalance.com.
Strongboardbalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board at strongboardbalance.com. Actually dropped one the Strongboard we have off at Sculpt Fitness this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and they're going to be. It was pretty cool because they have a similar product that they use there. That's nowhere near as bulletproof as the Strongboard Balance is.
Oh yeah. That's one thing I've noticed. The Strongboard, it could take a licking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the ones that they were using there, everybody, when I walked in and handed it to the guy who owns the gym, he was like, "Holy crap!" And he jumped on it immediately. And everybody, it was like school where you bring something new and cool in, and everybody got it in a circle.
Right.
So they're going to be checking it out this week. You should check it out too. Check them out on Instagram. They're doing another contest where they're giving away a Strongboard. It's a pretty sweet deal. Also, mymmanews.com. Check them
Definitely out. A Fleshlight supporter.
Definitely a Fleshlight supporter.
I think they also have something where you can get your old lady panties on their website.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. mymmanews.com, panties and fleshlights.
Panties and fleshlights, man.
Would it make sense to get, because the Fleshlight, they make different orifices, right?
Yeah.
Would it be kind of stupid if you got a Fleshlight that was basically just a fist?
I don't know. It's not your fist, right?
It's like masturbateception.
Something.
All right, so we'll check out The Ultimate Fighter as well, and we'll go ahead and jump on it right now, I guess. The big news this week is Ronda Rousey's coach and Jim going through some more legal issues. Edmond Tavarian, he failed to appear at his scheduled meeting of the creditors this past Monday as part of his bankruptcy case. Now, he originally filed for bankruptcy back on May 29th.
And these are kind of important.
They're kind of
when
important.
You're dealing with over $500,000 worth of debt.
Right. And so on May 29th, it was dismissed because he failed to appear already on July 2nd. Then he refiled on September 2nd at a creditor meeting, but that meeting was continued by the trustee who asked for additional documentation on Tavarian's bank account and credit card statements for all the accounts over $100,000, most recently filed a tax return, loan balance, like the Monique property. After this latest trustee meeting, he still failed to appear.
Yeah, and from everything I've read, it sounds like there's people that are willing to get in and take care of this issue for him. Because I don't know. A lot of people are saying, well, there's just no money to be made off him anymore now that he lost the cash cow. Dude, right. She's only lost one fight.
Yeah, and I think people are jumping to two conclusions way too soon on that fight too.
Her train, it looked like one of those things, like almost like a cable car in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Get to the last stop, everybody's just off.
Gone. Oh yeah, just completely empty. Crickets, guys.
Yeah.
We'll get it next time, right, guys?
Hello.
Guys? And Ronda Rousey hasn't shown her face at all since the fight.
I think she put a picture out yesterday with her and her family in some goofy ass hats on Instagram.
Oh, did she put something out?
Yeah, she put something out. But I mean, I don't know. She has to eat a lot of crow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, there's side-by-side picture floating around about the opening of the fight with the touch gloves, where Ronda didn't touch gloves and just has that pit bull look on her face. Right. And then there's also an image at the end of the fight where Holly Holm is kind of like has her hand on her shoulder, and she looks like a different person.
She's just like, well, she literally, she's not there.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
she's not. But she also kind of has this little kid look about her.
Yeah, because if you've ever been knocked out or had a concussion or had your ass whooped really good, even up to 48 hours, you're still not really. Yeah, you don't taste right. No.
You still drooling.
Yeah, it don't make any sense,
Yeah, the side by side, if you can find it, it's pretty cool because she looks like a little kitty who's never been told no.
Yeah, and it says like at first I'd be like this.
Yeah.
And then I was like this,
like the Ice Cube one when he's all hard, like back in the days, Friday days, and then he's wearing a life jacket on a boat.
On a boat. That's Disney time. That's
Disney time.
Yeah. Are we there yet?
That's what it was. That's right. The Disney transition.
He had to drive a caravan.
So they're saying that, like you said, it's over $500,000, $700,000 in debts, while claiming to only have $3,300 in assets.
Really?
Like, if you own a gym, how do you only have $3,300?
I don't know.
In assets?
I think some of our gyms here in Modesto have over $3,300 in assets.
So they're talking about liquidating his property and yada yada things that come along with bankruptcy. But the rumblings are that gym is kind of done.
Well, I mean, if he's and really in all business aspect, if they are about to grow into a bigger gym, this is something that businesses do all the time anyway.
Will they fake their own death?
No, it's not faking their own death. I mean, Donald Trump himself has filed bankruptcy. You can do it every 7 years. In 28 years, he's done it 4 times. Yeah. And now, you know what I mean? And he's never been short of money.
Lost anything, right?
No, it's just a business aspect, and but not showing up. That's the thing. Especially when there's people that say that they were there to help, this go through and things to happen, and then just not show up.
Right. And honestly, I think this is better for Ronda. Because if this really does go down, like, where it's not him reinventing his gym, but he's actually going away,
right,
then Ronda's going to be forced to move on to a different gym, which is what everybody is saying needs to happen if she's going to grow as a fighter.
Yeah, and that every day somebody else, or there's news that somebody else came out and has invited Ronda here, and Ronda, even I haven't seen it where actually Mayweather said it, but it's been said that Mayweather said that he would help her with her hands.
Well, yeah, he was out on his Twitter or something like that. Somebody else wrote it for him because he didn't know half those words.
Allegedly. In Joey's opinion.
Whatever, man. Whatever. So Bellator has announced its first ever international event, and they are going to Italy, which I think is weird.
Has the UFC done anything in Italy?
Off the top of my head, I honestly don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. They signed Alessio Sakara, of course, and so that's why they're going to Italy.
Right.
Because Alessio Sakara is from Italy. Alessio Sakara also is one of the most famous receivers of the most brutal nut shots I've ever seen in the UFC.
Just makes me nauseous thinking about it.
If you ever get kicked in the nuts so hard that you have to leave in an ambulance, I think he even lost a testicle.
I've been grazed to where I thought I should have to leave in an ambulance.
A light breeze.
I was just discussing that the other day with my wife because, we have the new son, and she's like, at what point will a nut shot just take you out? I'm like, it doesn't even have to be like a real nut shot. Yeah. Just a grazer, it'd take you, you're done.
Those are the worst ones because they take a second to register.
You're like,
is it gonna? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I was trying to explain the nausea. And then I asked her, I was like, if you guys get punched right in the tit or someone can't punch you, I mean, do you? She's like, I've never really received that, so I wouldn't be one to know.
So that's not something that can happen accidentally to a chick, then, where it can happen accidentally all the time.
Right.
If you're a dad, you've been headbutted in the balls by your kid at least once,
or just foot stomped when they're doing the lap, they're crawling across your lap, and then just foot stomp for no reason.
Still getting my son back on his 13th birthday. Right when he blows out his candles, he's getting a nut shot from hell. I swear to God. So cool, good for them. It's going to be on April 16th. If you're interested in following the Bellator Worldwide Domination Tour,
tickets go on sale after December 14th.
That's what they should call it. Bellator Worldwide Domination Tour. First up, Italy.
I think they called it Chai Bellator. They were trying
Ciao Bella.
Ciao Bellator.
Ciao Bella. The TUF 22 finale is coming up. Of course, we'll get to TUF Talk here in a minute. We've started the semifinals. But one of the other fights, it's not the UFC or the Ultimate Fighter fighters, but the regular fighters. Tetsuya Kawajiri was going to be going up against Mirsad Bektic. Now that fight is in limbo as Mirsad Bektic is out.
Can Cerrone fill in for that one?
Cerrone can fill in anytime he wants. Cerrone has a standing invitation to just go ahead and, you know what, if you want to fight on this card, he just waits in the
They
wings.
put him in the air like the FBI, and then he just flies until they need him, and then like they launch him out.
They're not sure if they have a replacement because, you know, it's like 2 weeks from today. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. And that's when we have like 3 fights going down in 3 days.
Yep.
So
10th, the 11th, and the 12th.
So if you think about it like that, that means that a lot of the UFC roster is actually kind of tied up too. So it's going to be hard to find a replacement unless they pull somebody up from the ranks like they did for, what's her name? Tisha Torres. They did for Tisha Torres' fight.
Right.
Her opponent was injured. She sent out an Instagram saying, you know, hey, thoughts are with you. I'm looking forward to be facing Jocelyn Jones, Lieberger. She's stepping against Tisha Torres at UFC 194. Now, Jocelyn Jones is the RFA champ. So she is, she's a belt holder coming up against Tisha Torres, but she's also from RFA.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm going to be glad to see Tisha Torres.
Yeah. Always a pleasure to see Tisha Torres.
Very nice.
So that's going down at UFC 194, which is going to be an amazing card, by the way. Make sure that you definitely.
And I think the girl coming out of RFA is going to be. She's going to, you know, because they always say because Tisha's so short, they're always saying that she's on the roids and shit like that.
Yeah.
I think that the RFA girl is going to seem pretty thick compared to her too.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, we'll see what she brings to the table. John Jones has apparently broken his silence. Met with MMA Fighting's Ariel Helwani on what was an interesting exercise in sifting through what's real and what's fake. So Jones came out and basically said that the car accident, had nothing to do with him getting everything taken away from him, right?
Right. Well, he alluded, yes.
He alluded to that. You know, we heard all the reports about him getting in an accident. There was allegations of him possibly being under the influence, but nobody could find him for 24 hours, so he couldn't get tested. Allegedly went back to his car to grab a fistful of cash and then ran off a pregnant, was it pregnant or woman with child? I think she was pregnant. Her arm got broken.
Broken, right.
So we had a hit and run with injury, possible outside influences in this. And what was told us, what we were led to believe, was that he was stripped of his title and removed from the UFC because, you know, needing treatment and stuff like that. And that's why we have DC as the champ right now. Now we're getting possible Jones alluding to him saying, no, they took it away from me because I refused to fight. Who is the question? We're assuming Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, the big assumption.
But
and it was something that was alluded to. But again, we can't say that that's what it was. And he wanted, and his big thing too was that he smokes weed. He's not the cokester that everybody's making him out to.
But he just does coke recreationally.
I don't. Isn't that what what other way is there to do it?
I don't know. I mean, so I'm not the coke that everybody thinks I am. But the times that he gets busted for coke.
Right.
He hasn't been busted for weed yet. He's been busted for coke twice now.
Right.
So whatever, man. You can say what you want. Problem with Jones that I have is that I find it really difficult to believe anything he says.
Right. And they never, the thing that I didn't like is that they didn't talk about this big weight jump that he's made and if he's going to come back down to 205 or where he plans to fight.
I don't know, man. Everything's really weird around this. We'll see what happens if he actually gets back in the cage and fights. That's what his job is. His job is to get in the cage and fight.
Yeah. And the problem with everything with Ariel Helwani is I believe that there's nothing is like out of nowhere. They've talked about it for a week, what they're going to talk about before he gets there to talk to him. They work it all out.
Well, a lot of the people that have seen this interview or whatever kind of feel like it was very disingenuous.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I didn't see it.
I don't know. I think the last real interview Helwani had is when he did Mayhem, and Mayhem was acting like Lucky. You know what I'm saying? And like Ariel just didn't know what the hell to do.
I wonder if there's a Helwani curse.
Yeah.
Ariel Helwani interviews you, you just lose your goddamn mind and fall off the deep end.
Crazy.
I think it's entirely possible. Anything else real big that we need to get to? We do have a fight coming up this weekend, and
we had a fight last weekend.
But aside from that, there's no Dodge digs deep for the news. We're going to keep it short today, so we'll go ahead and jump on the Ultimate Fighter that happened this past Wednesday. We have begun the semifinal or the quarterfinals. And because Faber only got 3 guys
right
into the quarterfinals. We're going to have a lot of McGregor versus McGregor, which is exactly what we got with Artem Lubov, who's 11-10-1, going up against Chris Gutzmacher, who's 12-1. This one made it into the second round, but it ended in the second round with Artem Lobov defeating Chris Guttmacher with a knockout in round 2. I think that we're another one in the quarterfinals. So do these go to a third round?
I think they can't they? Like if they
possible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're always going to have a tiebreaker round.
Right.
Maybe it's the finals are the ones that go to, or the semifinals go to the third round. Regardless, that was your, and we also got to find out who is going to. I don't know if they announced it. 'Cause I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it because they have 9 dudes,
Right.
but they're only having the 8 matchups or the 4 matchups or whatever. So somebody's getting left out.
Right.
And I'm honestly not sure if they announced that this week, and that's my fault for not knowing. We did have another one with McGregor's Saul Rogers going up against Faber's Ryan Hall. Saul Rogers was 10-1. Ryan Hall was 4-1, and this one went to decision with Saul Rogers defeating Ryan Hall via majority decision, 1919, 2018, and 2018. So Rogers becomes the second Team McGregor fighter to advance to the semifinal round, joining Lobov. Next week, we're going to see the final 2 quarterfinal matchups when McGregor's
Come on, America!
Wierzorzik goes up against McGregor's David Timur, and then McGregor's Abner Laveris goes up against Faber's Julian Arosa. Now, if I'm not mistaken, was Ryan Hall the magician, the guy who everybody thought was going to win it?
Right.
Oh, wow.
No bueno.
I'm going to go home and watch this. Should have watched it beforehand for my homework, but of course not. I'm an asshole. Then from there, we had UFC Fight Night. Was it Fight Night 78? Magny versus Gastelum. This was in
Monterey.
Nuevo Leon. Yeah, Monterey Arena, Monterey, Nuevo Leon, Mexico.
Yep.
Man, you other countries have too many goddamn names for your places.
They probably don't pronounce it like that. They just probably say Monterey.
Maybe. Well, whatever, man. We got a city and state. That's it. Clean it up. This was a decent fight card, man. We had a lot of fights lining up in the beginning with Michael Cuna dos Prasners going up against Valmir Lazaro. This was a split decision to kick off the night that went to Michael Prasners. Then Polo Reyes went up against Cesar Armendia. This is a big KO. You saw this one, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
At 3 minutes and 42 seconds to put his ass out. Followed by another KO with Alvaro Herrera going up against Vernon Ramos.
Yeah, and the cool thing about these knockouts when they happen this fast is on the UFC Fight Pass, it's just you go back to your blank screen for a little while. They're not ready for it, you know?
And then your third knockout in a row, Andre Touchy-Feely goes up against Gabriel Benitez. Andre Touchy-Feely gets a KO with head kick and punches.
Nice.
And then we get a Alejandro Perez going up against Scotty Jorgensen, and this is out due to a leg injury.
So how long do you let him fight with that rubber leg? Did you see the fight?
I didn't see the fight.
Oh, man. Jorgensen's walking around with this rubber leg. And I think they let it go. No, they called it the end of the 2. But, man, it should have been called a lot earlier than that.
I mean, if he's not complaining about it and he's still moving around on it, but once the doctor decides you can't do it anymore, then it's over.
Dude,
I think Scotty Jorgensen also said he retired 2 fights ago.
I don't know.
And then he's lost his last 2 fights. I think he probably should not come back. Not
Badass,
trying to be a dick.
super colorful tattoos, bro. I don't even know how you get that kind of color in tattoos.
With the skin disease that he has.
Yeah.
It's probably it. He got the tattoos originally to cover it up.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's some vibrant stuff, man.
Bartosz Fabinski went up against Hector Urbina. This was a 3rd round decision in favor of Bartosz. And then Eric Perez up against Taylor Lapillus. This 3rd round decision in favor of Eric.
I thought this was going to... I really expected this to be a draw, but...
Really?
Yeah.
So we have Decision Fest for your next fucking 5 fights. Jesus Christ. All the way up to Ricardo Llamas and Diego Sanchez, which was your co-main event. Diego racks up another loss. Now, I don't know. That puts him at I think his last 2 losses, but then 1 victory before that.
I had him winning.
Before that. Ricardo Llamas gets a win on there. And then Neil Magny, 17-4-0. Actually, he was 16-4-0. Gets a win over Kevin Gastelum.
You know what? And they've hyped up Gastelum. And
big time.
I just didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
Judges didn't see it either.
Well, I mean, it was a split decision. I guess it could have gone either way. Do you think it was...
I think it was heavier than that. I don't know. I think he might have got the 47-48 the first round because they know who he is.
Oh wait, I recognize that.
And then they were like, "No, man, that's Neil Magny too." No, there you go, 48.
Yeah, we gotta fix that real quick.
Yeah.
So coming up this weekend, happening from Seoul, South Korea, you have Benson Henderson going up against George Masvidal. Now, this is, again, you can watch it from the get-go, starting on Fight Pass, where Dong Hyun Kim is going up against the Dominic Steele, who's a late replacement. Dominic Steele is not concerned with being a late replacement up against Dong Hyun Kim. In this being the opening match and stuff, Dong Hyun Kim, he's had some good matches. He's had some bad matches. He's coming in off 2 wins in a row up against a guy on short notice. I don't usually watch Fight Pass, but I might actually try to get this one just to see if this guy can actually knock. Because if he knocks out Dong Hyun Kim, then it's going to be one of those instances where like people are going to get really excited for no reason because he's coming in unknown.
Right.
But I really think that Dong Hyun Kim is going to make some pretty quick work of him. I don't see this going to even to the 3rd round.
Yeah, because even if he takes it to the 3rd round, like you say, it's going to be good on him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll definitely look good for his future when you get that call and you can put on a performance.
Right.
Then you have Gang Yu Ning going up against Marco Beltran. Stop me if you got a dog in any of these fights. Freddie Serrano up against Ziku Yao. Siho Ham going up against Courtney Casey, and this is kicking off your prelims. Taehyun Bang up against Leo Kuntz. Yu Chi Nam up against Mike De La Torre, and then Dongi Yang up against Jake Collier. Sam Cecilia is coming back to fight Du Ho Choi.
I think that's gonna be like a sleeper fight. I think that
really,
yeah,
it's gonna be the one where somebody's gonna get popcorn. And
yeah,
miss a big knockout or something.
Yeah, because for featherweights, Cecilia sometimes I think it's just gonna come out of nowhere.
And someone who never disappoints in the cage, Sexy Yama Yoshihiro Akiyama, is going up against Alberto Mina. He's 40 years old, man.
Still doing the damn
thing. I actually thought he retired. I was surprised to see him on this fight. And wait a second. That's weird, man. Somebody out there is laughing their ass off at me if they caught my mistake. Son of a bitch. So the other Dong Hyun Kim.
That's what I was thinking. I was just sitting there looking
why
at.
Why the hell is this guy opening up the Fight Pass fucking prelims?
Yeah,
because I'm retarded and they both have the same name. So,
and they're both welterweights. I can see the confusion.
Right? I didn't understand why he was opening
and
up
I didn't want to
Pass.
correct you, bro, because
please help me.
You have way more years in this than I do.
I don't mind.
And again, you're sober.
I'd rather look stupid sooner than later.
Hey, either way.
So Dominic Waters is actually the late replacement going up against the other Dong Hyun Kim. Give me a disclaimer next time, man. Shit. But yeah, this is going to be your co-main event. Still, though, Dominic Waters coming in on very short notice. This Dong Hyun Kim not coming in.
Dude, this card is a double donger.
It's your double dong card. Your DP card, if you will. And I don't know. I still think that Dong Hyun Kim is going to be a lot of trouble for Dominic Waters, especially on late replacement. Yeah, god damn it. Oh well. Benson Henderson going up against George Masvidal is your main event. George Masvidal coming in on a late replacement as well. What do you think of this one? I mean, I always like watching Bendo. I mean, the guy's quick. The guy's tenacious. He puts on just clinics in the cage.
I think that this is one of the ones where this has to be done quick. This can't go to decision. If this goes the full, it's not a title, so it's just going to go for 3. Well, it's a main card, so it's got to go for 5.
Right.
But if it goes the 5, I think a lot of people are going to lose faith in Henderson. I think he might drop.
Well, you got George Masvidal. His 3 of his last 4 wins were decisions.
Right.
His last one was a first-round victory over Cesar Ferreira. He did lose to Ali Aquinta before that with a split decision, and 3 decision wins before that with a loss.
That's what I'm saying. If Benson can't get this done in like round 1 or 2 by either submission or knockout, I don't think it's going to look very well for Benson.
Now, Benson had some trouble of his own going up against Rafael Dos Anjos and Donald Cerrone, losing both of those fights to come back with a win against Brendan Thatch in the last time we saw him at UFC Fight Night 60 with a rear naked choke submission. That's your main event. I still have Henderson in this one.
Yeah.
Just because he's quick. I think that he can possibly finish this up in the second round. George Masvidal is too slow and gets caught in a submission. It's going to be over for him. And that's kind of how I see it going. But we'll see. Check it out tomorrow night. It's on Fox Sports 1. And next week, maybe we'll return with a full staff.
No, I think even everything's on Fight Pass.
The whole thing's on Fight Pass?
Whole thing's on Fight Pass.
Shut up.
Seriously.
Sword God.
Swear to God.
All right, so watch it on Fight Pass then.
Get your Fight Pass. Pay your $9 this month.
I'm just a bucket of misinformation this week. So well
It's
done.
the tryptophan, brother.
It is. That's why I'm blaming the turkey.
But we had a show.
We did have a show. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, SoundCloud, of course, iTunes, and SplitDecisionMMA.com. iHeartRadio.com as well is another home for us now. Just look up MMA Podcast, and we should be like the number 2 on there. Bump us up to number 1.
Yeah. Just give us one of those thumbs ups.
Yeah, give us one of those. That'll work perfect. And, of course, big thanks to StrongBoardBalance.com for sponsoring us. Check them out. Get on board. Change the way you work out. StrongBoardBalance.com and MyMMAnews.com. And from the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, it's Bueller and Ducey saying have a good night. See you at the fights.
Silhouettes and broken dreams, only things that I have seen. Master plans and deceiving schemes. Made this far, now leave me be. Critics give a fuck about him. Limits never stuck around him. More off than the pieces balanced. Death no records where it happens. Stand back, what you looking at? Got a new flow, won't you take a look at that? Try to take what's mine, I took a bet. Now I got a gang of flows in my backpack. Gotta run up like a motherfucker in the back of the head when he be living and talking like you popping a job. Be running away and get in trouble with the law with a little bit of blood on my palms. Listen to the lyrics, I be playing the game. You say we alike, but we nothing the same. They try to take me cause I'm running insane. Lyrics are like bullets, I'm shooting in range. Killing it, bitch, we murderers. Really, no, for real, come take a look at us. We come to take it all because motherfucker, we're like burglars. Don't ever plan on stopping now, cause I'm getting ready to go another round. And I'm not stopping till either one of us are dead or the body hits the ground. Intelligent with the flow so stupid, now becoming a bit of a nuisance. Other rappers are now becoming so useless, questioning me like how the fuck do you do this? But we just keep playing them stupid, keep making them all look foolish. Acting like dummies, we looking ghoulish. The crew and I are acting so goonish. Oops, it's about time to go. Gonna close the curtains to this show. But before I go, gotta let you know that nobody can fuck with death. No, let's go.